a very interesting structure to this Kinnah here. If you look at the Kinnah inside, you'll see that the Avraham and Yitzchak, they had kindness, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu answers them. Yaakov and Moshe, there's no response. Because they make kindness, the Kodesh Baruch Hu does not respond to them. And then afterwards, the Emos, they don't even have any kindness. They just cry. So the question is, of course, why the structure here, what the structure represents. And interesting also the Medrash, which is Kinnah is based on, Rachel does have a taina. Rachel says that listen, I deserve to get special consideration because I saved Leah from embarrassment. Because Baruch Hu, of course, in both Kinnos said that the Rachel Yeshacham to a safe, and there's reward to what you said. So I think it's interesting on each one. Where Baruch responds, he responds in related to that up. Like Avraham Avinu, Avraham Avinu complains, so Baruch said, they over there with Zara, and they went to the wrong boroughs, the wrong wells. You Avraham Avinu, your whole fight was against Avodah Zarah, and you went and you dug the wells. They were, look, what do you want from me? We're going to go, Am Yisrael did. Yitzchak, the Baruch said, responds to him, they defiled Am Har Moriah. What do you want? You were Har Moriah, there's a korban, they defiled it. What do you want from me? So, but then for Yaakov, Moshe, no response. Why not? So I think that it could be that there's a difference between the Schus Avos and the Bris Avos. The Schus Avos, we only have Schus Avos if we actually have some connection to the Avos. Rabbi Becker explains it. He says Schus Avos works like a split screen TV. It's TV, Baruch Hu sees on one side the Avos and sees you on the other side. If there's some affinity between the two scenarios, then there's Schus Avos. If there's no affinity, there's no Schus Avos. But what schus do you have? Schus means zachus, refined. You were refined by them. If you're not acting the same way, there's no schus avos. But bris avos is always there. And bris avos, I think, starts with Yaakov. Because Yaakov is the last of the avos. The shkutam shul is when we inherit nothing. So therefore, from the time of Yaakov being a certain time of Moshe, when Am Yisrael received the Torah, there's this bris avos. Because Kavyochel can't respond. He says, you're right, I have the bris avos I can't do anything with. Schus avos, they don't have it. You're right, there's the bris avos. But then, even more than that, there's the Emos. And the Emos, again, they don't have any kindness. The idea is, the Mekayim is telling us that the Avelus itself, raw Avelus, is what brings about the Gula. Again, you have to have Avelus, you have to know what you're missing. Otherwise, if you don't know what we're missing and we don't cry about it, we don't have raw emotion, it's very hard for us. I would say to people, I myself an emotional cripple, I'm half Yekka, half Litvak, I can barely emote at all. But it's certainly, it's a view of Hasidic background. But all of us have capacity to emote, much more. All of us have to try and emote, whether we can or can't. That's part of Tisha B'Av. And so the Chazal made all the takonas of Tisha B'Av for that, and many Holocaust we have in 3 weeks, they're made up, not from Chazal. Whole 3 weeks is made up. Right? It's comes from after the Chazal. It's not mentioned in the Gemara at all. Why do we make it up? Because people, over the generations, realize we're metumtam. We have tiktum alev. We don't have emotion. So they try over and over again to give us emotion. And so this man said, so good we have movies. At least we can still movies more or less a little bit because a person has to try to find emotion, something to do in order to try and make the emotion of the korban, the avelus real, because the avelus is really what we're looking for. And we say in the Shmonesra, the Zocher Chaz the Avos, maybe Goel even Abraham, Raman Shmo B'Avraham. Zocher Chaz the Avos is Avraham and Yitzchak, because Baruch Hu remembering Avraham and Yitzchak, and the Chasadim, but we can only Zocher, we also have Chasadim, for Daimen similar to Avos. Raman Shemoi is the Kiddush Hashem of being Am Yisrael, that represents Yaakov and Moshe, the bris, even though we don't have the schus. But ultimately the Gula comes B'Ahava, with emotion. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's emotion towards us, because reciprocating to our emotion towards Him. And Avelus indicates our Abbas Hashem, because real Avelus is what you love. Avelus specifically comes on your loved ones. And the love of which we have the HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us that much more Avelus, and that's how we're zoiching the Gula B'Ahava. One last thing is that according to the Medrash itself, when Rachel comes to say that Rachel does have time, so I think the time is like this. Because there are 3 things you have to remember at all times. You have to remember at all times, never to forget these 3 things, because it says, Hashem Nabi says, the Kodesh Baruch Hu has 3 things of us. Only 3 things. Asos Mishpat, Havas Chesed, Vatznei Lechasim, Hashem Elokecha. Asos Mishpat corresponds to Yitzchak, because he is the Adam of Gvura. But chesed corresponds to Avraham Avinu. He's the Av of chesed. Hatznei Lechem Hashem Elokecha, that's Rachel. Rachel with her tznius. She asked for the schar b'tznius, and it's schar b'tznius. Well, for Leah, at the time she was matzniya herself and took into account the Rachel. That's what was answered. So even in Mishpat and Chesed to fail, so we have Hatznei Lechem Hashem Elokecha, and that's Kosh Baruch Hu says, Ani Yeshva Ruach. People have tznius. People who do things with modesty, with humility. People who do things, still hate as they say in Yiddish. People do, that's what Kosh Baruch Hu looks for us. Kosh Baruch Hu looks for us to do things with quietly, because still waters run deep. And therefore we should be zoicha that Kosh Baruch Hu gives us this midah of tznius to understand that we have to do things with modesty, with humility, and understand the Ratzon Hashem and act accordingly.
Kinnah Vav Ad Malach Miyav, page 43 in the Ohaiv.